The early frontrunners Manchester City continue to set a blistering pace at the top of the Premier League, but all the big guns are hot on their heels. Elsewhere, two of the promoted clubs, Hull City and Middlesbrough, have slipped after promising starts. And tonight we watch another, Burnley, as they take on Watford at Turf Moor. Well, the Championship champions shocked Liverpool a month ago. But since then, it's been hard work, just 1 point from the last 3 games. And tonight, they're without their star striker as well. Watford turned to Walter Mazzarri this summer. The Italians made a big impact already. They go into this with back-to-back wins. And last time out, they took the prize scalp of Manchester United. Monday Night Football live tonight from Turf Moor as we watch Burnley and Watford meeting for the very first time in the top division. And it's live for Sky Q's Silver customers in Ultra HD. To watch, press the red button or go to the Sports EPG. For more information on Ultra HD, go to skysports.com/UHD. Well, both teams kick off in the bottom half. Watford 11th do have the chance to climb into the top half tonight. Burnley in 17th. Below them, West Ham fell to their 4th straight defeat on Super Sunday. Stoke and Sunderland, the only sides still without a win. At the top, Manchester City, the first Premier League side since Chelsea 7 seasons ago to win their first 6. Spurs in second. They welcome City to White Hart Lane on our next Super Sunday. Arsenal made it 4 wins out of 4 with a long-awaited victory over Chelsea. And Liverpool into 4th with 13 points. Their best start to a season since they finished runners-up in 2008-09. Well, he certainly demands a lot, but he has reason to be pretty happy at the minute. And I'm delighted to say that Jurgen Klopp is our very special guest on tonight's Monday Night Football. Welcome to you, Jurgen. So much to get through in the next hour of conversation. I want to ask you about the table first, though. Have you looked at it yet? The league table?
I saw it now. I'm here since 3 hours.
Have you studied it?
So we had a lot of time to watch on it. Yeah, it's not the worst table we had until maybe it's the best, eh? Since I'm here in 11 months, yeah. So it's nice to see, but the problem is the one number. It's 5 games, 6? I don't know exactly. Yeah, 5. So no, 6 games because Man City has 18 points. So, and yeah, so that's quite an early stage, so no problem. I'm happy about this, but yeah, I know a long way to go.
How competitive do you think the league is this season? How strong are the challenges from the likes of Manchester City and Manchester United, the 2 North London clubs?
They're very, very competitive. Like it's always, but this year the biggest difference maybe is that nobody was really happy last year, apart from Leicester, with the positions. So they all strike back. There was a big change in a lot of clubs in the summer, players, managers, all that stuff. So a lot of quality in the Premier League. It's for sure the most competitive league in world football. That's how it is. Everybody asks which is the best league. I have no idea, but that 7, 8, 9 teams think they should be top of the table or top of the league. That's quite interesting, and yeah, we all have to cope with it. We all have to deal with it, and yeah, it's good for everybody who watches it, and we have to deal with the pressure.
But also competitive because you face the challenges of the likes of Burnley and Watford, and you can slip up in those games as well.
Yeah, it's still possible. No, they did really well. We made quite a good game, actually. We were 80% ball possession. Afterwards, I wrote to a friend, I don't know which one, and wrote, okay, 82% possession or something, and you lose 2-0. I don't know another sport where it's possible. But in football, it's possible, and they deserve to win because they scored the goals and we didn't. But it was a little bit clear if they play like this in the next game, it's not that they will collect 20 points in the next games because we had too much possession in this game and we should have done better in the last third. We learned of it. We took it as an experience. It was not the best one. It was not an experience we wanted to have, but we had it. And now, yeah.
Well, Jurgen, if we get to the weekend and we're just going to show the first goal here against Hull, do you think it was important this? Because questions maybe have been asked because of the Burnley result. You know, a team like Hull, not sort of one of the big boys. It's important to perform how you didn't get the result you did.
I don't know if the result was so important, but of course the game was very important for us because the big difference in the game Hull and in the Burnley game was that really the movements in the last third didn't stop. So we had all this creative, we had a build-up, they tried to disturb a little bit Burnley, and then in the midfield all was good. But then the last third, we didn't have that many options, and we shot too much, we shot too often, all that stuff. And so what I said after the game, one pass more, and we would have been brilliant, but we didn't play it. So we had to show the team that's a decisive thing. And against Hull, it was much better, of course.
How impressive is that then, since you come in, the attacking side of the game?
Nice.
Nice, isn't it?
71 goals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top of all those
Can we watch
categories.
all of them now?
Do you think this one, when we talk about your teams and since you've come, we speak a lot about out of possession in terms of winning the ball back. Do you think that's something that goes under the radar?
I don't know. I mentioned it a lot, actually. I said we are a ball possession team, so we have the ball most of the time. So why I get always asked about, can you play this intensity and stuff like this against the ball and all that stuff. So but I know we have the ball a lot, and in most of the games we had them much more. And we played with this percentage even against City or all the teams who have the ball too very often. So that's good. We're in a good way, but we still can do better. That's how it is.
Well, I think that's better than good. That's fantastic. But
there's always a but.
What about that one?
Yeah, still a lot of work to do. Conceded from goals conceded. Yeah. 49 is really a big number, but that's 10th. Concede from set piece, that's not good. We still work on it. That's an issue for us. Not the biggest this year because we did much better already, but of course it always it doesn't feel too good when you are really good in the game. Like the Hull game, they had no chance. And we give a goal away.
Why do you think that number is? What have you found the problems in the Premier League defence?
Yeah, most of the goals we got in the early stage of the season, when I came here, it was we had to change a few things. We had to change a few formations, and we always played against nearly specialists in set pieces. When you play against West Brom, when you play against Crystal Palace, West Ham last year, unbelievable strong in this kind of. And we had to make a lot of changes. So it's not about a formation; it's more about how we react in the moment. And we found a formation was where we feel now comfortable, but we still this game, and now we can say.
Well, this is the one. This is the goal from Hull, the set piece. I mean, this has been, I think, is this what you say has been your normal setup since you came? So you have the 3 in zone, and then the rest of those players we see here, are they in zone or are they
much more in zone? It's plus Millie in zone, and it's plus Adam Lallana in zone, and Kleine, if there's not a player he's responsible for, what we sometimes do, then he would be here in a zone too. So it depends a little bit on the opponent. But the thing is more, and that's always, this game was a classic game for losing a little bit of concentration. We were so good in this game, and we gave the set piece easy away, and that was. And now you can see.
You know this situation.
We don't really adapt. That's the first problem. It's an in-swinger, and so we have an in-swinger formation. But so we're a little bit close to the goal, but all the targets are around the 6-yard line. So, and we should have been. And we can go back to the situation again.
But you know the position of Wijnaldum is his role to mark the player going back in, or to be a zone where he actually has to block the player.
He has to block it, but that means, of course, when he's the blocker, then these players. Then, especially now in this case, not Joel, but Ragnar and Roberto need to be closer to the situation. If Gini has to block the ball or the player, then these 2 players in this case or 3 players, they should get the ball at the end. And that was not too clear, and that's always orientation. Look at the face of Ragnar. He is watching the ball, only the ball. Can't see anything else. All 3 players only watch the ball, and you need to be orientated all the time.
Well, I mean,
again, look, that's interesting. Ragnar, not 1 second, he has no idea where he only watches the ball, and that's a little bit of the problem, of course. Then, and in this space now, he could be a step deeper, more here in this area, a little bit more behind, and then he would be the challenge. Then Gini could block him. So
that's been. I mean, a lot of the goals set piece-wise have been second balls. How can you fix that?
Stay in the situation. That's how it is. We have to now find a formation, be ready in the situation, and then reacting on the second ball. That's it. It means stay in the situation. It means that you are really the ball is in, and it's like a little bit like done. And it's not done, so ball is still in the box, and it's always dangerous. It's not how I said. We improved already, but. We talk now about because it's a big number of goals, but most of the goals we conceded last year. Out of these situations, already this year a few, but not that big number. And how I said, still to work on it. There's no solution. We have not the tallest team in the league.
How can you fix that then?
make them taller. That's difficult. Huh? No, we are. How I said, we improve, but it's not. We don't have the physical quality for this set piece defending. So we need to find a more creative solution, like Wijnaldum blocking, because he is a good jumper, a really high jumper, but be responsible for blocking. The same with Hendo, Hendo is a tall player and a good header, but still not a real defender in these situations. Adam Lallana, the same. So they have to block. And the rest, our best headers, they have to be in a situation. And this now is obvious. We were not really in the situation. We only watched the ball, and that's not how it works. So then it means you have only this possibility to defend this ball and not helping in this situation.
Well, is that why you have a mixture of sort of people marking and people zone because of the size of the team?
We played most of the time, for example, we played man marking because we had a lot of tall players and they could make the advantage in the challenge. Here, how I said, we had to find a solution. We are quite happy. We do it much better in training. It looks much better. We had a lot of tall players when Christian Benteke was still in. When we defended him in training, then I felt good actually. I said, okay, good way. So that's how it is. We have to train it. We have to do it. It's not until now, obviously, not the. We are not finished in this, but most of the teams struggle sometimes because the quality in England in this moment is really intense because it's a little bit different to other countries in the 6-yard box and all that stuff. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you score 5 goals at the other end anyway, Jurgen, which is what you're doing at the moment, and it's why you have... and I'm not sure what you'll make of this. I'm sure you'll be delighted to see the bookmakers have you as second favourites.
I'm so happy. I don't understand even the numbers. What does it mean?
It means that they really think that Manchester City at this stage are going to win the league. But if not, they think that you have a very good chance. What do you think about that?
To be honest, I didn't do something like this one time in my life. So I know where I come from. You keep your money together. You don't do something like this. And yeah, it's not too important for me. But it's better that we have something like optimistic mood around. I think in this moment, Liverpool feels good. So that's how it is. They saw us playing. We had this very, very important game now against Hull, where everybody said before, maybe this is the last real issue they have. They cannot play against teams they defend deeper or something. And we did it in a really impressive way. So, but for me, it's over. It's 2 days over. So next game is Swansea, international break. I don't like international breaks always because they are not here. I don't have to play around. I have to wait until they play in different teams, different styles. That's all how it is. And then I have to carry on. We start then again against Man United. So nothing happened. We did our job until now. We improved, of course, but that was important. We cannot say we need to show that we work together, and we then don't show it. So I'm fine with the moment, but not finally happy or something. It's all good, but could be better.
Jurgen Klopp is our special guest. Time to find out about Jurgen Klopp, the footballer. What would you say about him? How would you describe him? Without swearing, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no. Very average. So I was really quick and good header. That's it. Unfortunately, ball it most of the time on the ground. That was not my biggest strength. And yeah, I loved the game too much that I could stop it, but it would have been really, not too bad for most of my teams I played in. But it's all good. So I enjoyed playing football very much, but it was not really good. That's how it is.
Could you have played in one of your teams?
No. One of my best things I did in my manager career was my first decision. When I became a manager, I was a player the day before, and the first thing I said, but then I don't play anymore. That helped the team a lot. What's that?
What is this, Jamie?
No, we think of the game now where defenders like to step out with the ball.
Come on, don't start with this. I said, no. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, I know.
You thought you were Beckenbauer?
I never thought I'm Beckenbauer. It was a very hot day. Half time we were down 3-1, and we had to win this game. Then we could have got promoted, or we would have been promoted. And 3-1, only 10 men, red card, and then we came out of the dressing room 3-2, 3-3. Everything was good, and then this goal. At the end, we lost 5-4.
But in terms of you think of how your Liverpool teams play now, if you lose the ball, you want to get back, or if you make a mistake, is the reaction the most important thing?
Yes.
It's a leading question, Your Honour.
You look like you're on the beach there in Mallorca.
Okay, that's right. That's right. I'm not the only one. Another one was in the box. You saw him. I hear it. Yeah. Okay, it was really. It was not. It was maybe my biggest success as a player, honestly. I think, and that VfL Wolfsburg is your opponent, and this time without the power of VW. So it was a nice opportunity. We couldn't get it. That's how it is. We didn't get promoted because of then this 4 points. Right, 4 points.
So if you recognised your abilities, or you would say your limited abilities as a footballer, what about the development of Jurgen Klopp, the coach? Was there, for you, always a burning desire to do that? Was there a light bulb moment or a particular influence that inspired you?
No, I don't know. But that's how it is. When you are a second division player in Germany, you don't earn enough money. So that's how it is. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but not too silly. So I could have had a decent career in something else. So I don't know what. I studied all that stuff, but I love the game too much, and I always want to be part of it. And I knew always that if somebody gave me the opportunity to coach a team, it would be better than I play in a team. So with 26, even if somebody would have said to me, "Come on, now I know everybody could see it. You are not good. So do you want to be the coach?" Then I would have done it, but it finally happened with 33. Was
there a coach that sort of influenced you to go into coaching, or maybe where you got some of your ideas and style from?
Yeah, it was Wolfgang Frank was his name. Unfortunately, he's died too early, and he brought in the 4-4-2, so the last line with 4, space defending more, and we became a much better team in this moment because we're a real average team. We're not good paid, all that stuff. Nobody was interested in the club. In this moment, we learned that it's not important if their single players are better than we are, we still can beat them. It was for us like a whoop, open our eyes. And when I became a manager a few years later, I used a lot of the stuff I learned from him. He was the perfect role model for a lot of his players in his team are now coaches or managers around the world, and it was always his dream. So he said, when I'm old and grey, come on the mountain and tell me your stories. And we could tell meanwhile a few stories, but unfortunately he's not there anymore.
We want to talk a little about some of your football philosophies, Jurgen. Everyone talks about the counter-press, the Gegenpress when they talk about a Jurgen Klopp team. You said this, Gegenpressing is the best playmaker.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, usually think about what we all have to do until you bring a player, the number 10, if you want to playmaker in a position where he can make the decision for a genius pass or not. So you have to play a few passes, your channel balls, whatever, and the counter pressing makes it exactly the same. So you win the ball back in a high on the pitch, and you are close to the goal. So it's only one pass away from a really good opportunity most of the time, and that's why I said, okay, no playmaker in the world can be as good as a good counter-pressing situation. So yeah, that only to show the players a little bit why it's so important. And actually, I said it. Yeah, before the Hull game again, and so I used it again, and so we did really well in this game.
Well, yeah, and this was the first game that you took over Tottenham. We covered the game for the Monday night, a couple of days after, and that was evident as soon as Liverpool lost the ball. You could see this, Coutinho coming in. So always 3 or 4 players around the ball.
Yeah.
How has that evolved going forward in the 12 months?
Yeah, a lot. First of all, that's a situation where we should not lose the ball. That's the first thing. So they keep the ball in situations like this. There's no reason for risk in situations like this.
But is it not just so much about the running? Is it actually the timing to close?
That's all about. But as long as the timing is not good, you have to run a little bit more. And now you see it. It's all about really making pressure on one player, give him still an opportunity to pass another ball, but give him not a real opportunity. It's more an imagination of something. So, and you saw it at the end. They played really well in a lot of situations. Hull is a football playing side, but in this situation they always felt the pressure. But somebody could be around, and that's the situation we have to create.
Do you think this was one of your best performances in terms of winning the ball back since you came? You know, if you actually just take it back.
It was, of course, because we were really calm with the ball in this game. In the first half, we were really calm, but then it was like a rhythm change. It was cool passing game, and then we win the ball, and then it was really chasing all over the pitch.
Well, that's Mane from the right wing, right side of the attack. He's even coming across now. So you've had good press and you lose the ball and then you get this again.
Yeah, it's like it is. I love
And
it.
the celebration.
Obviously,
Do you enjoy that as
I'm a
much as
little
the
bit
goal?
more excited about it than all the rest around.
Did you get satisfaction
Look at
from
that.
that as much
Still
as a
going.
goal sometimes?
Yes, it's a small goal if you want. You win a ball back, maybe not this situation, but it shows that we are on the right way, and you always need to try to come on the right way, and then you can use it. Then it's easier to find, if you want the goal. And so I really love situations like this, not because of it, only because I know what it means for the game in general. If you are in this mood, it will work.
You know the one that you mentioned about Hull. We're going to come to that now where you're talking about the number 10 position. That was what we showed there. But it was the quote of people don't really understand what the number 10 position is in terms of defensively. You're talking about all your players want to play that position. Could you just explain that in terms of how important that player is in that role in winning the ball back, the number 10 position for you?
First of all, you have different situations. So you have a fluent situation if you want to. They win the ball back, and then you cannot say, wait, until we are in the formation. So always the closest player to the situation needs to jump out in the situation and then try to cause them problems, whatever. But this would be in our situation if you want, where they have the ball here or here. So let's try it. It's only a little bit different. These two players, 9 and 10, if you want, have the job they have to do is to split the pitch for us, because we decide how big the pitch is we have to defend. So of course we cannot avoid a long ball from the left fullback. If we can shoot until on the other side of the pitch, we cannot avoid, but can you react because the ball is in the air? But to defend really as a team, you need somebody who gives you a sign. So left side, right side, whatever. So if they play on a specific side, then close the gap. Don't let this number 6, where's number 6, maybe here. It's not allowed that he, for example, we are here, the rest is deep, and he can play an easy ball on him, and then he can decide everything on this position. So that makes no sense. So it's always being really compact in all the situations. So we need to have the whole formation there, and these two players, first of all, close the gaps and defend the 6 together. So if they build up with 3, then, for example, let's do this. Then we defend in like a 4-4-2, because again the 6, if you want, number 6 is now here in the center, or here. So with a closer formation in a 4-4-2 for the flat 4, then you have a closer formation. So don't let the ball play easy here, and if they play on the side, go again. The ball is then, for example, here. Go there together with the rest of the formation and try to do something there. But it's all about timing, giving the opportunity. If you stay really high, if you stand really high, they don't play. And they shoot the ball. It's normal. Why should they? And you cannot create situations like this. A lot of teams start with a long ball, but then when you win the ball back, and then it's football playing. And if you lose the ball, it's again a defending situation. And for this, we need the solutions too.
But you know, you're talking about the number 10 role and how important it is, maybe defending. It's just something this season. You've gone in and set up with maybe not what you'd call a number 10, more maybe someone behind the two midfielders. It's been Jordan, sometimes Emre Can. Is there a reason? Because normally you've played with someone in that position.
Actually, we don't think too much about system. System is what we give the players with the system is where they have to defend. So the offensive thing is we don't have real wingers now. We have a real winger maybe who can be a really direct player, who can play really isolated on the wing and make the difference.
So these players, because they at times play narrow, they're in those positions already.
Yeah. So we have this kind of players. So we thought about which kind of players do we have, and how can we bring them in the right position. So that's and make us stronger if you want. And that's the reason for the system. It's not that we think we can. That's modern, or I don't know, or a lot of teams play it. Of course, we played our way, and for us now we thought. Hendo can play 6, of course. Adam can play 8, of course. Stuff like this, and Sadio brings a new skill in with his speed, so that's really nice.
This is Firmino. I think watching over the last 12 months, it's evident how important he's been in terms of that winning the ball back in those areas. Is that a key part of his game and for you?
Look, Roberto is a player who is always involved. In all offensive action, in all defensive action. He really likes doing things like this because he is a natural skill that he knows. That's a nice opportunity to win the ball and to be close to the set. That's why he's doing it. He doesn't think too much. He's an instinct player, if you want. And then that's really, really strong in his situation. And that's why he can play nearly all offensive positions.
So is that the sort of situation you're talking about where the quote you mentioned before, pressing is
We
the
had,
best
we, had a
playmaker.
we had a wonderful situation against Man City when Phil Coutinho won the ball. So a long ball on Sanya, maybe, I don't know exactly anymore. And it was really surprised for Sanya that he's under pressure when the ball came down, and Phil was there turning around. So we had a lot of players who do it. Roberto is in the center. He has the physical ability to do it because it's the most intense job, actually, because he's on both sides involved. Yeah. He's when we're a little bit deeper, he's involved. So there's always he's always a job to do if you want. But the target is, of course, to have the ball as long as possible, that we don't have to think too much about what we do when they win the ball, when they have the ball. We know it, we respect it, but it's only one part of the preparation.
I looked at this a few weeks ago, and when we sort of first recognised your side, Borussia Dortmund, a few years ago in the Champions League, it was about people talking about pressing, but also with the ball in terms of penetrating, seeing.
It's a good example. It's a good example for. It's all about the players. You have to, as a manager, you have to use. You have to use the skills of the players. And I could never play a pass like this, and not the pass of Luke, not a short pass of Roberto, not the long pass of Hendo, not the pass of Daniel, and the finish, maybe Sarrio's finish would have been possible for me. So it's not about showing how it works. It's about giving him the opportunity and showing them the rooms, the spaces we can use. So in this part, it started really early with a nice situation of Hendo when we can go back. That's timing. We watched the longer to the beginning, please. So sorry. Yeah. So again, so if we see the situation now when he's feels a little bit under pressure because of Daniel. So Schmeichel plays the ball, and Hendo is there close enough, not with him, close enough to win this ball. Then Kleini is cool enough to play it. The football, we keep the ball, no risk in the ball. There's no reason for risk in this situation. Now, wonderful ball, but stop. Maybe there's a lot of balls like this. They don't come through in this situation. It was really perfect ball from Luke. And then it works. So you have this direction, you have this plan with coming behind the line and all that stuff. On good days, it works like this. On bad days, the exactly same players. First pass not, going dribbling in a risky dribbling, losing the ball, counter-attack, Leicester. That's how it is. You have to accept this. You can make a plan, but these guys have to fulfill it. And so that's what I really admire and like, is really working with them together, because they are full of interest and want to learn and want to hear and are already able to perform on a really high level. That's good.
Another specific position, Jurgen, fullbacks have been of interest, and the role that they play in your side. How would you describe a Jurgen Klopp fullback?
Oh, it changed. It changed in the last few years, but this kind of fullback now in a team is, of course, it's much more a midfield player. Fullback was always a midfield player, but we are that kind of football. They play in half spaces. They have to play really high. They are the wingers sometimes. They are the center midfielders sometimes. So what you see, the rule is, be an option to get a pass or be protection for all the players. So be an option. If you're an option, you can be high, you can be the half space. If in a situation we are red, still.
Yeah, we're red. Of course.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking,
they can be there.
Yeah. I'm thinking, obviously James Milner's now playing there, but do you think it's more easy now for players to play in the fullback position, because, as you say, the more like midfield players will get the ball in those positions? In analysis, we still watch too isolated on position. So he's not strong in defending. He's not good in one-on-one. A fullback should not be a lot of times one-on-one. There can be a situation where it's one-on-one, but when he's in one-on-one, where's the midfield player? So it's a situation. For example, if this fullback defends him alone, that can happen, but should not happen too often. So if he's here, he closes outside, force him go in the middle. It's 2 versus 1. So where's the chance for him? And why do we then talk about his not having ability in one-on-one situation? So that's how football should be. So that's not too important. What you need to have as many good footballers as you can on the pitch. So, and if they're on fullback, of course, because the wing is a nice position, but you need speed to use the opportunity. You need the speed. You need this kind of. Not everybody wants to have the line in his back, so that's how it is. You need a few things, but when you're a good football player, and really then it's a wonderful position. You're always involved. And I remember when I spoke to Millie first time and said, "What do you think about the left fullback?" I said, "Don't have the ball too much." I said, "No, stop thinking this. You will have the ball much more often than you can imagine." Now that's how it is.
But how I said, nothing happened until now. They do well, but when we said, yeah, that's good, because we thought before that will be good. They did well until now. But I don't like it too much standing here and I saw all these numbers and, oh, brilliant, brilliant. It's as good as it should be. We are a good football side, but we have to improve, not only set pieces, in a lot of things. Now we did well, and now Swansea is the next challenge, and there's a big challenge, for example. So I stand here and I feel a little bit, everybody feels good, that's good, it's better, that we are all optimistic, then everybody thinks, what is he talking about? But nothing happened really, and football is on good days, nice and simple game, and on other days, you can't find a solution, and that makes it so interesting.
Well, we like to talk a lot about formations, be it 4-3-3, 4-5-1, 3-5-2. Tonight we're seeing, do we talk too much about formations? Are we bogged down in it?
There are a lot of views, there are different views on it. And if you say, where's the difference between 4-1-4-1 and 4-5-1? I don't see it actually. 4-3-3, it depends to the situation you are in. If you play, for example, a 4-3-3 really with really wingers, what Holland placed a few years ago. If you play this, then you have really wingers, and that's different. They had different jobs to do. And they were always strong, really in one-on-one situations, all that stuff. But we don't have wingers, for example, apart from Sadio. So we have this kind of creative players. So our job is to find somehow a system or whatever formation where they can bring in their skills and nothing else.
You know, in terms of a sort of a formation, when you go into a club, you come to Liverpool or your other clubs, do you have a set way of playing, or do you build that around the players that you have?
Absolutely, around the players. Yeah. So that's it. That's why I said usually we take time, but it will take time. But you cannot come. You can come in a new club and say, then give me 6 months, and then we talk again. We had this game against Tottenham and a lot of games in a row then. So we didn't look at the players, we only said, that's what you have to do. So, but then time after time we get more information, we had more common experiences, we had them in difficult games, in good games, and all that stuff, so you learn more about each other. And that's why I would say it makes sense that we work a little bit longer together, that if we had time for training, what we had now, and then you have to improve. That's how it is. We cannot say, oh, it's a surprise that it's a little bit better than before. We have to improve, and we improved, that's true, but how you already told me, we have still a few issues. I'm happy about it.
When we talk about your formation, sometimes we might say, oh, Liverpool are playing one up front today, but do you actually look at it and say, we're actually playing 4 up front?
I actually don't think about it. To be honest, it's not that I think about it. We have now a false 9 or no 9 or what that is. These players are all responsible to be in the box, in the opposite box, in all situations they can be. So of course not the centre halves. I would like to have them only around set pieces there, and there's always one holding player that can be a fullback, that can be a midfield player. That's not too important. But all the rest, it's not that they say, Bob, I couldn't score. Somebody told me that's all about being flexible. So
in possession, almost 3-7.
3, yeah.
3 players who are sitting.
I don't want to read this in the newspaper. No, it's not. We again in possession. Yeah, it can be everything. So it's that's right. It may be in possession here in the other half. We can do it. It's like this. You have only these positions. It could be everybody. Let me see this. Do we have time for this, or
yes.
Are we already under pressure? No problem. I can stop immediately. So it's not important. Then now we have to send the halves. Come on here. Now we have to. This is the situation, and let me say this is the 6 because they leave up one striker. So it's not important which players are this. It's absolutely not important. So it's not important. Everybody can be. So Sadio Mane could be here, of course. So that's how it is. And here can be Adam Lallana, for example. That's not important. Phil can be here or can be here. This can be Roberto. This can be Stuch. Whoever. So that's only a thing, but it needs time, because the problem is you lose the ball and now everybody looks on his back. Oh, I'm offensive player, don't defend, so wait what happened, bring me the ball back. And that's what we have to create, that we are then, and that's what I loved in the first half against Hull. We were that flexible, we were that, all that, and then losing the ball, and then it was really wild boys. And I loved it in this moment. That's why I was really happy with a few defensive situations.
You had a difficult time at Burnley just a few weeks ago, Jurgen. What did they do well against you?
Counter-attacking was really good, we have to say. So we made a few mistakes around the goals. That's how it always is. We were not really in the challenges. We lost three press balls. It's not allowed in a football game, and at the end, that was not the best timing between the centre half. So that's how it works then. And then at the end, they scored twice. We were not ready for this game, obviously. We considered the really early goal, and then the reaction was like something like nervous. So felt directly under pressure. Come on, we have to do it. The first shot was not in, but we never got in a really good mood for the game, and that was the problem on this day.
Did you find them a very organised side, though?
Absolutely. But we, they were really organised. But the biggest strength was really the two strikers, to be honest. So we had our moments, we had our chances.
In what way was Vokes the strongest?
They kept the ball. They was quick, unbelievably difficult to defend. Vokes very physical, and speed, and it was really strong. Obviously, but they deserved to win because they scored twice, and we played well until the last third, and the last third is the decisive third. So you need to be better there.
In terms of talking of strength, we go to the Watford 2, and that was, I think, you come up against them last season. Was that something that maybe in the Bundesliga that's different to the Premier League? Maybe
the
teams
quality,
near the bottom,
the quality of Vidalo and Dini that's a difference for sure. So you have a team. I don't know exactly which position Watford was last year, but at the end it was not in the first hand. Yeah. So and then having this quality strikers, we were not good on this day. We started again bad in this game, but. It was intense time. It was around Christmas, so we had already a lot of games. We had to make a few changes, and they scored quite easy goals against us, and was not really good. But they have. That's a big difference.
Is that, I mean, in terms of coming up against the front two? Is that maybe we've seen that maybe 10, 15 years ago a lot more in England? But is that something that even in Germany you have to come up against a lot? Two strikers against two centre backs.
They play not with two strikers. They play with two strikers, of course. But Dini is the guy who always comes in the middle. It's kind of a 10. Igalo, the quick one, and his movements in the box. It's really strong. So that's not a real two striker. Not 15 years ago in Germany, two strikers were two strikers. So they marked even the centre halves when they had the ball. So they waited there. So that's a really good couple together, I have to say. And now with Waldemar Sarri, this kind of Italian 3-5-2, they are difficult to play. And I saw Man United that was really strong.
Why is that hard to play against?
Because the concentration in defensive situation is really high. It's really high, and it's not passive. It's a lot of legs behind, but you can really see it's good organized. So that's what Italian coaches are. They really are in the detail, and they want to have no, that's not right. A little bit left, a little bit right, and go out. So when we played Juventus Turin a few years ago in the Champions League, they scored after 12 minutes a goal and changed immediately. Brought Barzagli in, changed on 3-5-2. And it was like playing against the wall. So it's a mixture of good organization and mentality. And he obviously already created a kind of mentality.
Is that a system you've ever? I mean, I don't know all of your maybe minds, but is that a system you've ever played yourself, or you think about playing?
We played it once. It didn't work, but we had never had the need to play it because it's not that we said we want this three. If you want, it's exactly the same. It's this player. If this is the six, and that's the situation. There are a lot of situations where he can be there. It's possible. So it's not the biggest difference. It's a kind of a philosophy for yourself, who stays where. And we played once. It absolutely did not work, but it doesn't mean that we will not play it again. It's not about, we had only no time to train it. And I hate playing a system when we have no time to train it. So that's then I feel not comfortable, the team cannot feel comfortable. So as long as we don't have no time for it, we don't do it.
You know that system, I mean, when I was growing up, think of maybe the 1990 World Cup Germany, and it was always Germany played with sweepers, and you're saying about, one of your manager at Mainz went to a back four. Is that throughout Germany now teams play back four, or is there still people who play the sweeper and people who man mark?
You have these teams. Of course you have these teams. In Germany you have a few teams, they only want to stay in the league somehow. And of course there are a lot of situations where they play man-on-man mark, but Man United last year played some kind of man marking, so and that's how it was. So that's not, there are different ways to be successful. Who am I that I say this is the only way or this is the only way? So no, of course we have it still, but it took a long time in Germany to bring anything new in German football, because we were quite successful 74 and 90 and all that stuff when I made my batches, and I said you are the guy from Mainz, you play with four and behind, explain. So I was sorry. Then I said, okay, it was like, convince me. So that's how it was. It's long ago, but meanwhile, you can Bayern Munich under Pep Guardiola. They play different systems. They play with Kimmich and Lahm and Alaba and all these guys. When you have the ball all the time, it's not too important.
We could talk till midnight, Jurgen. Sadly, we're going to have to say goodbye. The hour has flown by.
Oh,
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very
much. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you again very shortly. Liverpool taking on Swansea live on Sky on Saturday. And